What's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today is August 11th, 2025. And we'll get into my watch list for the upcoming session here in a minute. I guess just to recap kind of where I've been for the past couple of months, because I've been MIA, haven't really been putting up any videos. I've still been trading. I just transitioned back to day trading instead of micro time frame trading. I started to increase risk on micro time frames. Granted, when I switched to micro time frames, I dropped my risk down to like 0.5% per trade. And as I started scaling my risk again, things started breaking for me. I started not to be able to take certain positions because my size was too large. So I didn't have the leverage for it. As well as like the commission started to eat me alive a little bit and really started to mess with kind of my probability model. And what I mean by that is like there was a lot of positions I was having to put on that are, 6, 7 pips. And when I do so with the current broker that I have, there was times where that commission just to open and close the trade was 20, 25% of the total trade. So if I took a win for 1R, let's say, that 1R was really like a 0.75R. Or if I took a full loss for 1R, that full loss is really like negative 1.25. So I decided to switch back to day trading like 2 months ago or so, I think. It was right around when I stopped posting videos, I switched back to day trading. And I've been doing that since. So I enjoyed the micro time frames thing. I think it was good for me in the aspect of just getting to see like a lot of repetitions with trades again. I've been trading on and off for nearly a decade now, but I've taken some pretty long breaks in between and different spouts in there. And then getting back into day trading again a year ago now, when I went full time again, I dealt with a little bit of like hesitation, just like kind of gun shy to take trades. And what it all kind of boiled down to is what I found out about myself is that it's just lack of reps, lack of confidence in my analysis and things of that nature. So the building a watch list every single hour for 8 hours a day for a couple of months, like you get a lot of reps, like a lot of reps. You build a watch list at the beginning of the hour, halfway through it, roughly, you're finding out if you're right, if you were wrong. It's kind of like back testing in a way, but more so live. So for that aspect, I really enjoyed it. It's just when I started to try and scale capital with it, it just didn't really make sense anymore. Day trading wise, most of my position sizes are anywhere from 20 to 50 or 60 pips. So dealing with commissions is a non-factor. It's just when I try and did those really tight position sizes, you really got to crank up the lot sizes, and when you do so, you got to pay a heck of a lot of commissions. So either way, these videos going forward are pretty much just going to be a recap of my trading the day before, as well as the watch list that I have for the upcoming session. So don't really have anything for yesterday because I didn't trade. So we've got my watch list for this upcoming session to go through. So let's get to it. On my right side of the screen is the first time you ever tuned into one of my videos. Anything labeled like this teal color are primary setups for me. So these are setups that, like, if they pull back to value and they give me a nice micro time frame trend change to give me a live entry, then I'll take them. The dark blue are considered secondary setups for me. They have potential, but I would really need to see how price develops a little further to decide whether or not to take those trades. As well as I try and group trades per, pairs. So like I have dollar pairs here. I have PLN kind of pairs here. I have some euro pairs and I have some NOK pairs, right? So for the first group, the dollar group, I have two primaries. So I have dollar HUF and then dollar Singapore. Dollar HUF is an IBO. So it's be a wave 3 play. So you got, if we go to our 1 hour here, you have this trend line. It pretty much broke. It broke the 1 hour 50 EMA, has a good push, higher high beyond this, right? So there's the first indication of a trend change. We're looking for a pullback to between 0.382 and 0.5 fib. as well as like a rejection of the 1 hour 50. So there'll be a wave 2 pullback, and we're looking to play wave 3 here to roughly the 4 hour 50 R1 area for a 2-to-1. And that's roughly like a 85 pip position or so, right? With a stop pretty much below 0.618. This is the absolute kind of max that I can enter this position at. Preferably, I'd like it to come a little bit further down, really kind of retest in this area around the pivot. If I can get an entry around the pivot, I feel a lot better about my stop, right? I'm able to put my stop below this kind of support zone and whatnot, but I would still entertain taking this trade roughly about there. It's about my maximum entry for the position. So that's dollar HUF is a wave 3 IBO. Dollar Singapore is a wave 3 CBO. Granted, this kind of has a couple of things to think about here. I mean, it's broken the 4 hour kind of EMAs, right? If we blow this up a little bit, it's broken them, sure. But it's not the cleanest of price actions. Like, you could kind of argue that it's testing this levels here, and it's kind of sort of this head and shoulders pattern. So that I don't love, but I do like the 1 hour price action, right? Similar to dollar HUF, break of a trend line. We have those support level. We have the EMAs, we have the fib levels. We have a lot of stuff that kind of lines up in that area to take this long. I just don't love the 4 hour. So it's just something to consider when taking the trade. And as well as with the daily time frame, we're kind of sitting right at the daily 50. So we do have bullish MACD on the daily and most of all the time frames. I'm pretty sure here. Yeah. Right here. Yeah. So we have bullish MACD. And price action is kind of lending itself to a bullish bias, as well as a kind of a bullish bias on all dollars pair. So of these two, dollar HUF, dollar Singapore, I prefer dollar HUF. But granted, if we're going into the Asian session right now, dollar Singapore might move first. So dollar HUF may not move really until London session, New York session. So we'll see how it develops. Then we have dollar yen, kind of a wave 5 CBO, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, right? Again, don't love the 4 hour. I would prefer, like, if I'm taking a 1 hour CBO, I'd prefer the 4 hour to essentially be an IBO, and then like my 10-minute to be an ACB. I want those, like, in a perfect world, I'd love all three of those to line up like that. Doesn't always happen. As well as this is kind of a couple days into this run at this point. So that's why it's secondary for me. And then pound dollar is interesting. It's an IBO. It's sort of kind of rejecting this possible area right here with the daily 50. But it also kind of looks like a higher low on the 4 hour. So it just seems a little odd. But the rest of the price action looks okay. But in comparison to like dollar HUF, this is a lot cleaner of a trade than pound dollar for me. So again, it's just secondary, but is an option. And then I had these on watch as well at some point. I kind of delabeled them, but still watching to see how they develop, but more likely won't take a trade on any three of those. For the PLN group, my primary is this CAD PLN. Granted, I've never traded this pair before, and I've started kind of like looking at all the exotic pairs that my broker offers. And it's a pretty clean, just IBO, somewhat. I don't like how, like, it's given us a higher high beyond this level right here, right? But we're also still kind of hitting resistance right now, like right there. So you have to trade through levels. It's just something to consider. But it is breaking a trend line, pullback, playing wave 3, IBO. The rest of it is all pretty clean. Honestly, when it comes to position sizing, I really like when the 4 hour 50, 1 hour 200 lines up with R1. And then when the 1 hour 50 kind of lines up with the pivot level in 0.382. It's mainly this kind of price action and EMAs and indicators is what I'm looking for when I'm looking for an IBO. So I would just have preferred this high to be a little lower or this breakout to be a little higher to break that high and then for a pullback. So, but all things considered, still a decent setup. I just don't know if I'll be able to trade it or not based off of spread. Like right now, you can kind of see the spread right here on my screen. It's way too large for me to trade a position like this. But we're still in the first hour of market rollovers, so spreads are kind of crazy. So I'm just something I'm going to watch, see how the spread develops on this later in the day. Dollar PLN, similar kind of concept, right? Like we're looking at all these pairs as PLN weakness is essentially what we're playing. Price action wise, I like CAD PLN the best. Dollar, not so much, just because it's kind of already rejecting the 4 hour 50 here, right? But you do have a nice kind of break of a downward wedge. So, and then if CAD PLN spreads don't kind of level out for me, I have traded dollar PLN in the past multiple times. So I know that spread wise, I can trade this pair. So it might just be a situation where I won't be able to trade any of these other exotic pairs, but I can trade dollar PLN, hence why I have it flagged. To trade that kind of PLN weak bias that I have. As well as dollar PLN plays into the dollar strength bias that I have of this group right here. The bullish bias I have on it. Euro PLN, similar to CAD PLN, just CAD PLN is a little bit nicer just with room to move is mainly why I flagged this primary over Euro. But still, an interesting setup, something to keep my eyes on. And then pound PLN. Again, I don't know if I can trade this due to spreads. But it is a CBO. It's an IBO on the 4 hour. It would be an ACB on the 10 minute. So it's interesting. So keep an eye on it. And then for my third group is a Euro group. I don't really have any of these listed as like a primary trade. They're all kind of secondary setups to me. But in order, do have them in like order of kind of rating per se. Euro dollar being the best of this little group. I do like the break of the trend here, but I don't like how it's kind of bouncing off the 4 hour 50, 4 hour 200. But it could just be a pullback and retest and a wave 3 CBO on the 1 hour. Just the 4 hour feels kind of trappy. The 10 minute has ACB vibes to it, so there's potential here. But I would really need to see how price kind of reacts to this area, decelerates, and like what kind of micro time frame trend change we get here. Because it still is playing with the overall bullish bias we have with the dollars. EuroCAD is an IBO. I would have flagged this primary if there wasn't this low right here, right? So we're not really breaking this low. It is a lower low when you compare it to here, but it's not when you compare it to this. And you could almost draw in like a trend line now from here to here, and it could just be bouncing off of that trend line too. So this is primarily why I didn't flag this as a primary pair for this group. If this was up here, I'd feel a lot better about it. But again, it has potential. I just really don't like this trend line. So has potential. The dailies, whatever, it's nothing great. 4 hour, not anything great either. It's just the 1 hour. It's kind of interesting on this. Hence why I flagged it and just something to watch. And then Euro Aussie. So again, 1 hour, daily is not great on this. 4 hour, not really anything there, but you just have this kind of like 1 hour break of price and whatnot. But honestly, as I'm looking at it again here, I think this is a deflag situation. Yeah. You kind of have like a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, right? So this doesn't really fit Elliott wave theory at this point. You really have nothing on the daily. You just have like this slow kind of consolidation here. Granted, at some point, this daily is probably going to break down and give like a daily IBO, but I don't know if it's really going to be today. So just going to deflag that. Pound NOK. Never really traded this pair, nor ever really traded Euro NOK. Again, kind of just looking at exotics. So we'll see how the spreads kind of chill out on these in a couple hours. But it is interesting. This kind of like 1 hour price action. You have room to move still on your 4 hour back to the EMAs. You have this, bearish engulfing candle on your daily chart. It's interesting. And then Euro NOK, pretty much the same, right? Kind of nice breakdown in your 1 hour, come back for a retest, play a wave 3. Problem is you're kind of bouncing off the 4 hour 50 here, but the daily has a nice kind of bearish engulfing candle and bouncing off of a level. If we draw it in right here, you can see it, reject, 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 reject. So an interesting level it's bouncing off of. So again, just something to watch, see how it develops, see how the spreads develop. I'm still trying to hone in my exotic pair list about the ones that I can get good leverage on as well as I have good spreads on. It's kind of my aim this month. So hence why I have a lot of these exotic pairs kind of flagged, trying to see what they look like. So but yeah, that's it. I'm mainly looking to trade this dollar HUF, possibly dollar Singapore, or this CAD PLN if I can trade it with spreads. But I imagine I'll probably be looking at dollar HUF or dollar Singapore, one of these two. And that's it. So that's all I got. I will catch you guys tomorrow. See ya.